Hey there, welcome on in. We welcome you, one and all, to Three Guys Before the Game. This is episode number 672. Busy time, the crossover between football and basketball. This is a preview of West Virginia and Colorado and a recap of West Virginia's first two basketball games of the season. The Mount St. Mary's Mountaineers and the Camels of Campbell. We'll get into both of those. Textual Healing as well. Tony and Brad are here. Kercheval remains on assignment. It was so overcome by Campbell's nickname that I think he went out to ride a camel. We'll have to find that out.
Efforting.
Three Guys brought to us by GoMart. Get yourself that GoMart rewards card and immediately begin saving on your food and your fuel. Reminder, Saturday, triple rewards points. Yeah. By Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Great season-ending deals right now. By Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's biscuit. They also can cater your next event, which is kind of nice. Comax Business Systems keeps West Virginia's business data safe, secure, and efficient for 25 years. Every piece of office machinery made in the world, they got it, including those new high-tech water machines for your business place. Three Guys brought to us by Jan Dill's attorneys at law. They won't simply take no for an answer. Not taking no. Like, no. What'd you say? I'm sorry, what'd you say? Did you say no? No? No. I'm sorry, I'm not taking an answer. That's what they do, Brad.
They probably lead with, is that right?
Yeah.
Oh, is that right?
Is that right? We don't take no. Three Guys also brought to us by Conley's CPA Group. Brad's got spreads on stats coming up. All right, let's jump into this thing. Special thanks to producer Jake for coming in here early Friday morning. That's just sometimes, this show is kind of like, it's an amoeba.
Free flowing.
It just flows. You don't know when you're going to come in, but we had the basketball game last night. West Virginia goes to 2-0 on the season. Obviously, we've got football, so it's happening. And it's happening really fast on a couple of fronts. Number one, no one normally uses the baby finger to go number one.
I haven't seen that
They
before.
normally go the index, but I just went for some reason. Number one. Looks really weird, too. Number one, what's wild is how fast football has gone, right? We're down to 3 games, and then how quick basketball's coming. We'll have played 3 games by this coming Sunday night. West Virginia will have 3 in the bag.
Yeah, it's a good thing we're doing the recap now because the Big 12 tournament's next week, I think. We're going so fast in basketball.
Yeah.
I do like this. It is odd that you're out of the gate here with so many games, and some of it's that, Chance Moore has to sit those 5 games out, so you were trying to get as many in as you could early to bring him back even more quickly. But I kind of like this. The play, scout the next team, get right back out there and play and kind of get some of this flow for a team that needs to still find itself and learn how to play together. I like this. Get out there and play games. You've had a ton of practice. Yes. Go play some games, and they're able to do that here in week 1.
I couldn't agree with you more, but it was super weird last night when the two teams were warming up and were getting ready to do this thing. And it was literally just 48 hours before that we were sitting there for the Mount St. Mary's game. And it did feel like postseason basketball where you're just like, come on back out. We're going to play another game. Going to come play. It'll probably feel like that's Sunday again. Like we were just here. But to your point, all new players, new coaching staff, this is the best thing that they could be going through right now. And as you said, the clock is winding down. Go faster on Chance Moore's return to the lineup. And then eventually Jackson Fields. And we'll get into it. But obviously this team needs some guys. They're going to go put their face on the rim and get rebounds, and those are 2 guys sitting down right now that will.
That's part of it. Credit West Virginia for finding a way to win its first 2 games, and we'll break some of these numbers down. So you're off to where you needed to be, 2-0. But don't underestimate what that means to be missing 2 pieces of your rotation that are going to be pretty important. One in Jackson Fields that allows you another big to come in along the front line. And then 2, I think you made a great point there on Chance Moore. He's really the one guy on this team that when he decides to put the ball down and go to the rim, it's not a, Well, I think I might take it in and go for a layup here. It is, I am getting to the front of the rim, and you better stop me. So he'll add a nice element back into this as well. So keep playing. It gets DJ Thomas some excellent early minutes here, and then a couple more games, and both of those guys will be back in the lineup.
All right, which way are we doing this? Are we going to go football first?
We can. Yeah, we can do football first.
We're having a pre-production meeting right now. You want to go football first?
Let's go football first.
Well, football's the next thing. It'll be coming up.
Good point.
Yeah,
we'll go football
next
first.
Thing. Also, WVU's women's basketball team in action this evening as they take on Kent State at the Hope Coliseum, and Mark Kellogg's team will look to go to 2-0 on the young season.
Off to a dominating start in game one for them. They look to have another good year. I think he's got a good team reloaded there after losing J.J. Quinterly, but a lot of pieces back for Mark Kellogg.
And the Soccers, right? We got the Soccers going as well. Women are not going to have to wait to the NCAA tournament, but Dan Stratford and the men have the conference tournament coming up here as well. Like, just super busy.
That's Sunday also.
Sunday,
same
right?
as
The exact same start time.
Yeah.
Like, figure that one out, 3 o'clock. So we'll get into that. Three Guys brought to us by Gomart. Keep this in mind. You know me, I love interactive games. I love interactive games. Go to Gomart just for the heck of it. They got that Marty spin deal going now. You're familiar with that?
I am.
You going? Well,
Marty the Gopher.
Marty the Gopher. It's Marty's Merry Spin. They're getting ready for the holidays. You can spin your way to sweet treats, awesome prizes, or they'll throw in some bonus reward points. No matter what, it's guaranteed to add some fun to your holiday. Go to the Gomart, scan the QR code inside the store, and just start spinning like a dude. That'd be kind of neat.
I'm milking my gas tank right now. In fact, you may have to, if you don't mind, drop me off at the house afterwards. I'll just leave my car here.
You're going to go for
I'm trying to get to Saturday.
Three straight weeks.
Just like the Mountaineer football team here, starting a little momentum with that football team. I've got momentum behind my triple reward Saturday.
Okay, awesome. All right, let's. I guess we're going to do spreads on stats this quickly. I mean, Kirchhoff's not here for obvious observations, so we might as well just go like.
Let's just jump in because this will be a meandering spreads on stats.
What does that mean?
Well, because we'll just kind of talk about the game, mix some numbers in there. I'm not going to just straight give you numbers today.
All right.
Kind of talk about the game too.
Analytics are fun. They're brought to us by Conley CPA Group. They provide value beyond numbers. Like if you were to come up to me and say, hey, Conley CPA, they're just a CPA, bunch of CPA accountants, we'd probably raise hands against one another because it's simply not true. They provide value beyond numbers. They will walk with you day by day, whatever your business needs. They will be that consultant that helps you do the very best and the most efficient way of handling your business. And they can take care of your accounting. That's right. You can outsource your accounting to Conley CPA Group and a whole lot more. If you really need a big daddy, they can also CFO services as well. So there you go.
They'll handle it for you.
Be like in football terminology, be like defensive coordinator, offensive coordinator kind of guy, your CFO, like a main position within the organization. All right, let's do this thing. This is, to me, just at face value, before we look into this wild camera angle. That's a wild camera angle right there, isn't it?
That's a good one.
Yeah,
that's a new one.
Thanks for being with us. I'm intrigued by the matchup, and by this I mean I don't know what Colorado is going to be on the field. Like, of all the games that you get ready for during the course of a season, it is oftentimes, it's extremely rare to say the least, that you have a team that's coming in that has just allowed back-to-back 50-point games against them while scoring a total of 24 in their last two games. So they're averaging 12 and giving up over 50. 1. 2, internally, they have, not that you should ever ask, but apparently demoted both their defensive coordinator, Pat Shurmur, and their offensive coordinator. I'm sorry, their offensive coordinator, who's Pat Shurmur, former longtime NFL guy, and then their defensive coordinator as well. But Deion Sanders, he became quite ruffled when that was brought up at his press together. It's just like, he just went into one of his rants. But like, if you're demoting two coordinators and they're staying in the program while the season's happening, I give you a little bit of a hunch. Probably not a real good work environment. Probably not. And
by the way, he's done this before.
Yeah.
Did it last year. Took play calling duties away, put Shermer in to do that. So not unusual there.
Yeah. So you have that. How's Shermer feeling? Pretty good right now? Probably not.
Probably doesn't love that. Now,
Probably
he's been around a long time. He's seen a lot of things.
Yeah. Probably doesn't like that. Right now, you know what he's doing? He's going like, I'm just going to take my check. Going to take my check to this thing's over, and then I'm getting the heck out of here. That's what he's doing. Meanwhile, so what's that do? Like, where are these guys? Plus the long flight, and they came yesterday.
Early start time for them.
Yeah, they came yesterday. They're going to work out in Pittsburgh Friday today, and then come down, day of the game, come down from Pittsburgh, hour plus, as you all know. So for all of those reasons, I'm going like, that doesn't look real. That doesn't look real conducive to coming out here and playing. So we'll see.
So agree with you on all that. The scores of the last two games for Colorado, 105-24.
Yeah.
Now, here's what's interesting about this. West Virginia, we almost asked the same questions we asked last week. Coming off that TCU performance where things looked better, but you didn't get it all the way to the finish line, but you had some life and maybe some momentum. You go into Houston, you come out, you punch them right in the face early, and then hang on with some big plays and get a massive road win over a ranked team. Now, we ask it again. Can you stack another one on top of that? And so everything you just outlined there about Colorado makes you feel situationally pretty good if you're West Virginia. The one little area where you go, all right, just hold on here, just like look over your shoulder a little bit here, is that you're off your biggest win under Rich Rodriguez version 2.0 in the last month and a half. So you can't come back in here resting on your laurels, feeling too good about yourself. You have got to buckle down and screw it down. So letdown spot, yeah, there's a definition of a letdown spot here. I do like that the crowd is supposed to be really good, and the weather looks like it's going to be really nice. So that should help insulate you a little bit with some crowd noise there, and that should bring some energy. But you always worry about teams like this with Colorado, don't you? Everything you just outlined screams, they're done, just pack it in, that thing's over for the season.
Correct.
But that's where you start to get a little nervous. And West Virginia's not at a point in its evolution under Rich version 2.0 that it can just walk in and say, all right, we got this, we're good. We'll handle this. You got to go out and still play. So that's number one. Number two, the other wild card Colorado's giving you is the quarterback situation. They're making a change, going to their talented, highly touted freshman Juju Lewis, who makes his first start. And it's not too dissimilar from Scotty Fox, right? This is two true freshmen starting at the Power 4 level in a Big 12 conference game. I didn't look it up, but that has to be an unusual situation. Juju hasn't played a whole lot, got his most run last week against Arizona, but the game was already decided. So what exactly do you get from Colorado? Chances are they're not going to change the offense a whole bunch, even if they have a new play caller and the new quarterback. But a little bit of a wild card going in there with a talented five-star quarterback. But here's the other thing, Tony. He hasn't seen a Zach Alley defense yet. And Zach talked about this week about he thought they confused Wegman at Houston a little bit with some of their pre-snap motion and shifting. Can you do that again with Juju Lewis? So that's going to be something to watch as well.
Totally agree. Julian Lewis, as Brad said, he put up some stupidly good numbers in high school. Listen to this. 11,000 passing yards in 3 years of high school football. Now, if that doesn't take your breath, how about this? 144 touchdowns in 3 years. Do the math on that.
Almost 50 a year.
Almost 50 touchdown passes a year. 39-4 as a high school starter. Just the second player to become the Gatorade Player of the Year in Georgia. The other, two-time. The other was Trevor Lawrence. And flipped his commitment on the Pat McAfee show to go to Colorado, was going to USC. Flipped it on Pat's show, always a West Virginia connection. And last week he went 9 of 17 for 121 yards, touchdown, no picks in their loss to Arizona. Ran the ball once for 15 yards. So that's the story there. And it is really wild. You got two true freshmen.
Some similar numbers team-wise overall. 14th and 15th in the league in scoring average and defensive scoring average. Look how close these are. West Virginia averages 23.2 points per game. Colorado, 22. Defensively, Buffs giving up 30.1 points per game. West Virginia, 30.4. So evenly matched from that standpoint. Let's get into some keys here and talk these through. I think number one or one of, these aren't necessarily in order, but one of the big ones here. Who wins? I'm going to niche you here. You ready? Who wins the rush explosive matchup? Colorado is 94th percentile nationally when it comes to rush explosive percentage. You're going against a West Virginia defense that's 18th nationally in opponent rush success. If West Virginia limits their big rush plays and you put it all on the freshman quarterback, I think that's where you want to be. If Juju Lewis goes out and throws for 350 and 4 touchdowns on you, tip your cap and say congratulations. Limit those rush plays, be good in the run game, which West Virginia has been most of this season, and I like West Virginia's chances right there defensively against Colorado's offense. Flip it around. We know West Virginia wants to run it, and the offense looks its best when you're having success on the ground. It opens up that pass game for Scotty Fox and those receivers. Colorado's defense is dead last in the Big 12 in rush yards allowed at 216. This feels like one of those limit their big plays, make them try and ground you on the ground, so to speak. And then West Virginia, look for that 200-yard rushing number. Can you get to that, which will give you some balance, which you like West Virginia's offense? Who makes big plays on the ground in this game?
Mm-hmm.
That's number one.
Yeah, absolutely. Again, off of the side to this, as I go back to my original point, that this part of coaching is the invaluable magic part of coaching when it's the month of November and both of these teams with extremely rare opportunities to go to a postseason bowl right now, very, very limited chance that that could happen for them. Big things would have to happen. But which coach can get their guys to go? And the way that Rich's needle works is that coming off of that Houston performance, like he's the last guy to pat his guys on the back and say, hey, we've arrived. It's the other way, right? It's the other way for Rich. He goes the opposite way. I would imagine that most of the kids on the Mountaineer team right now after practicing this week think they lost last week at Houston because he just will not be – he's relentless in his demand to make them get to that next level. So to me, one of the biggest things is how do they come out and play? As much as, we can take a look at the numbers, but like who's ready to block, who's ready to tackle. And that's the magic of him. So that's what we'll see.
How about the Colorado pass offense versus West Virginia's pass rush? So we just touched on that a little bit. What does Juju Lewis at quarterback mean for them, both from a defensive, West Virginia's defense confusing him and just his ability to execute in a tough road environment? We saw this with Fox having to do this. You're starting in a really difficult place. The place is going to be hopping, and you're coming in for your first start. Really talented kid. That's a tough spot to put anybody in. And you're going against, a Colorado pass offense that per PFF has the 13th grade in the Big 12. So 13 out of 16. This has not been an effective pass offense, which is part of why you've seen Colorado flip around to quarterbacks. They're trying to find a spark somewhere. They're getting a West Virginia defense that's 8th in the league in pass rush. So a pretty decent pass rush for West Virginia. Coverage unit 14th for WVU. Now, we saw against TCU, and I thought we saw against Houston really good back-end coverage there. And that coverage against Houston would have been even better if the officials had known what they were doing in that game. Unfortunately, must not have officiated many games, didn't know what they were doing back there. So can West Virginia, here we are again, get pressure against Colorado's front and make Juju Lewis even more uncomfortable than he's already going to be in his first start? An interesting stat on their previous starter, Caden Salter, he was responsible for 36% of the pressures that got to the Colorado quarterback. They put that 36% of them back on him, the quarterback, holding it too long, not getting rid of it. So it may help this pass offense to have him out of there. What does Juju Lewis look like back there? Can you get to him and affect his game, especially early? I thought we've seen that in the last couple of weeks, and we certainly saw it against Pitt with the big win over the Panthers. When West Virginia gets to the quarterback early and can deliver a couple of hits, we've seen that rattle that other quarterback, and that has paid dividends in the terms of interceptions or turnovers late. So I would watch that early. Is West Virginia getting home and making Juju Lewis uncomfortable early, even if it's not turning into sacks?
And if they do that, it would be the third straight week because they did rattle Josh Hoover. He
Correct.
did not have a typical Josh Hoover game.
Couldn't get it downfield.
Right? And Connor Wigman, same deal. He was rattled throughout the course of the game. Can you put another one of those together and cause a lot of confusion back there? Will Jamori Robinson once again make plays that are significant in this game? Right? The clock's winding. You got 3 games left. You're either going to do it now or you're not going to do it, but he is a guy that's got to be a nuisance back there.
Got to be a guy. I mean, you brought him to get after the quarterback, and you saw it for the first time last week. He needs to stack another performance and be a menace in that backfield.
How's that line, the offensive line there for Colorado grade-wise? Is it like last week we talked about Houston's left side tackle, a little bit of some issues. You seeing anything there? Any holes that can be exploited?
They've been in pass blocking in particular. They've been really good until the last 2 weeks. Utah ate them up pretty significantly, but imagine that, right? I mean, Utah pretty good up front. Against Arizona last week, they were a tad below average. Before that, they had been excellent and had been playing some tough teams: Iowa State, TCU, BYU, and Houston and Georgia Tech, and their pass blocking grades had held up pretty well. It's part of why you saw that number for Salter on the pressure so high. The line wasn't necessarily having the problem. It was Salter's responsibility to get rid of the ball. So that is something you're going to watch. This line has been pretty decent for an offense that's struggling overall to pass it. All right, go to a key number 3. Flip that around. Can West Virginia have success when it's throwing it? So we already talked about the rush game against a Colorado defense that struggled to stop the run. If you can run, as we saw last week, it opens up this playbook for Rich Rodriguez. And Scotty Fox, guys, he is growing into his role here. Not only has he not turned it over in the last 2 weeks, he has 0 turnover-worthy plays in the last 2 weeks. That is pretty impressive for a true freshman that you can just see. Stop me if you've heard this. The more reps you get at something, the better you're going to get. Is that new?
Heard that.
Am I breaking new ground there?
Heard that.
No. Scotty Fox has been really good the last couple of weeks. So the Colorado pass defense, decent pass rush grade for them. They've been able to, they've the last couple of years upgraded their athletes along the defensive line, coached by Hall of Famer Warren Sapp. But on the back end, they've had a little bit of trouble here. So Colorado has no individual in the top 25 of the Big 12 in sacks individually, and just 1 in the top 25 in TFLs. So been okay, not great. But how about this? Worst coverage grade in the Big 12. They like to line up in man. They like to line up and say, can you beat us? A lot of teams have been beating them. Preston Hodge leads the Big 12 in passes defended, but 0 interceptions. That usually doesn't happen. You defend the most passes, you're probably going to come up with a pick. Doesn't have any. Carter Stoutmeyer, 16th in the Big 12 in passes defended as well. DJ McKinney, 21st. So their defensive backs have a lot of passes defended, but what's that tell you? Teams are attacking them on the back end. So can West Virginia do that? Is this a Cam Vaughn day? Rodney Gallagher, tight ends across the middle. Can you have some success throwing it? And I think it just starts with that first stat I read. If Scotty Fox is not going to put you in harm's way with turnover-worthy plays, this offense is probably going to click along.
Also, their leading tackler, who's their safety, Tawfiq Bayard, has to sit out the opening half of Saturday's game because of a targeting penalty going back to last week's game. The player that they have behind him is named John Slaughter, who's only been involved with 8 tackles the entire season. I don't know if they moved someone over from a different spot, but at this point, Bayard will not play in the opening half.
I'll give you one other number and one thing to watch. Let's go to third down. Colorado, 96th in the country, so not good. On third down, average distance to go, it's 7.3 yards. Okay? West Virginia is forcing teams into 7.5 yards per third down, almost dead on. That puts West Virginia's defense 31st in that category. So can this be another key? If those numbers just hold, I mean, we're deep in the season now. Those are pretty strong numbers. Those hold. Colorado does what it does on an average basis, and West Virginia's defense does the same, and you're putting a freshman quarterback in third and long, and you can pin your ears back. I like that situation for West Virginia.
Crowd's allowed to cheer.
Crowd will be going there. They can probably get up if they like.
They'll be allowed to cheer for those situations.
Sure.
Okay.
So a lot of numbers there. I think matchup-wise, from a where the two teams are mentally, you like West Virginia, and I think some of those numbers show up that what Colorado does well, West Virginia should be able to match it. I think this does set up as a fairly decent matchup for West Virginia, and they come into this game favored. It's been a while since West Virginia's been favored in a game, but they are in this one.
Big game for the program, for West Virginia's program. You win this game, and it shows that you're going down the right road and that things are starting to develop. It'll give you another shot of momentum. Again, this is not going to move the national needle. The Big 12 doing that by itself, 3 teams in the top 13 in the first college football playoff rankings. So it's not going to be a big national story, but internally we will see this and go, guess what? You're going down the road. Pieces are coming together, and that'll be significant.
It really would be in a game that you feel like you can win with some momentum, stack another game on top, and then I don't mean to push ahead too far, but then you've got that long trip to Arizona. I get it, but you're going against a Sun Devil team that's without its starting quarterback. So you go into that one and you take your swings.
Yeah, absolutely. 3 Guys Before the Game is brought to us by, here's a trivia question for you. Ready? Trivia? Who's the largest pontoon boat dealer in the state of West Virginia?
It's an easy one.
Answer?
Lou Wendell Marine.
Yeah, they've been doing it for 4 decades. Lou Wendell Marine Sales, recognized as the state's premier pontoon boat dealership, biggest dealer in the state. Avalon pontoon boats, which are made 100% here in the United States, in fact, in the state of Michigan. Season winding down, which means you can get some spectacular deals right now. If your boat needs serviced at this time of the year, contact the folks at Lou Wendell Marine Sales. They are in St. Albans, but you can visit them on their website at LouWendellMarineSales.com. That's LouWendellMarineSales.com. All right, basketball. Last night, West Virginia, 73. Campbell, 65. Mountaineers now 2-0 under first-year head coach Ross Hodge. So, really intriguing and interesting the first 2 games have been. You get the end game. The only thing that matters is if you win, right?
Mm-hmm.
That's the only thing. So you get the wins.
Mm-hmm.
And defensively, you're playing really, really well. Last night, you hold Campbell to 35% shooting and just 14% from 3. So these are the things that Ross Hodge and his staff are known for. They will grind you down defensively. However, these are games. We're getting toward the end of the game, and it's not that blowout that you would expect this time of the year. So questions go well, wait a second. Got one today. I don't know if it was used or not on the text lines. If it's tight games now, what happens when you get into the Big 12 games? It's a fair question. Answer, don't know yet. Again, for a couple of reasons. 1, they haven't played enough together. 2, not all the pieces are there yet, so you really don't know. So, again, important to play a lot of games early, but you're going to get a big test next Thursday when Pitt comes to town, and that's kind of where this thing sits right now.
Pretty crazy how this works, and I get that question, and it's what we do as sports fans. We want to pick up the performance from what we just saw and move it forward as if it's going to stay static every night. And I think the first 2 games have shown you that that's not the case. You saw West Virginia struggle to make some threes in the first game. What'd you see last night? You saw Trayson Eaglestaff come back and be very aggressive scoring, put up double figures, and could have had a lot more than what he did. You saw a little bit of the Honor Huff experience, Tony, especially late, and you saw how blistering hot he can get and how he changes the face of your offense and can change games pretty quickly and was invaluable down the stretch of that game. Here's the other thing it did. I went back and looked at last year's team, because there are some similarities both in style of play, that the defense will be ahead of the offense, and then just in the fact that you're trying to mix in an entirely new rotation. This year's version is going to have a stair-stepped approach to this, as we mentioned earlier. You're not only trying to get used to this lineup, then you're going to mix Chance Moore back in. Then you're going to mix Jackson Fields back in. So It's going to be a work in progress, and I think that'll show itself, especially on the offensive end. But I went back last year and just thought, all right, how'd those games go last year early? I'd kind of forgotten this until I saw it, and then it jogged my memory. Last year on November 8, West Virginia played UMass, a UMass team that came in 222nd in the Ken Palm ratings. And you remember that game? That was a battle. I mean, that came right down to the end, and West Virginia had to fist fight the Minutemen there and walked out with a 75-69 win. You had to scrap. You didn't blow out the 222nd ranked team in the country, and that ended up being a West Virginia team that I'll continue to say it till I go to my grave. That was a West Virginia team last year that made the NCAA tournament. Man, NCAA tournament team probably could have done rings up and done NCAA tournament because you got screwed.
In absentia.
222nd UMass team, you beat them by 8. So you go to last night's game and you get Campbell, who's right now 199 in Ken Palm ratings, not too far off. And you went right down to the wire, 173-65 in what was a similar type of game, a fist fight type of game that was really physical. You mentioned West Virginia's defense was excellent, especially along the perimeter. Campbell got 38% of its points at the free throw line. And some of that was style of play for Campbell. They go hard at the basket, and that was evident, especially in the second half. And you had a crew that, while it was inconsistent on how it called the game, Campbell got a lot of calls in the lane and at the rim, allowing them to get to the line. They did a nice job making free throws, so a heavy free throw game. Point being, Game 2, similar time of year, almost to the day, similar type of games. West Virginia still went on to have what was a really good season. So I caution folks to pick up a performance and move it forward and think that's going to be the trend all season.
Are you saying that after that UMass game last year, you didn't pencil down that they would go on to beat Gonzaga and Arizona within a matter of 2 weeks?
Did not have that.
Did not have that.
So I do think it's important as these rosters are just such a work in progress. You start with a blank canvas and you're trying to assemble it. You're going to see some performances, both individually and team-wise. Sometimes you get really fired up and excited about it. Other times you're going to look at it and go, well, I'm a little bit concerned about that. And we just have to remember, just keep piecing it together here if you're West Virginia.
Busting down the box from last night, Brennan Lorient had himself a really impressive game. You think about this. He finishes up with 12 points. He has 9 rebounds, 4 assists, and he blocks, am I right, 5 shots?
Correct.
5 shots. Blocks 5 shots.
That's the old 12-9-5-4 box score. You don't see that very often.
So, really impressed by him, and right now he's having to do more than his normal share around the glass because of the lack of size. And then, as you said, the Honor Huff experience, friend of the program, right? We had him on
one of our
here.
favorites.
Yeah, one of our favorites. He goes for 23. The three-point shooting, you can just see that it's there. He's got 4 last night, so that gives him 7 through the first 2 games. But one of the things that brings a sense of comfort to you is when the young man goes to the foul line, late game, go I'm glad he's at that line because he doesn't touch the rim. He went 9 of 10 last night and was huge in the game. And then you had this great balance, right? You had Trayson Eaglestaff. He was those fire starters where you go you click that thing and a little spark comes out and you try to, and then the fire will come, but you got to click it a couple times. Last night, he hit his trigger 3 times, and the flame came out for just a really sporadic second, and then it came back in. But you saw that ability that he has to score the ball. They call him a volume scorer, and you just saw hit that big 3 first half, bang down his chest. Okay, let's go. There are going to be more of those nights than not those nights, and then that was encouraging because he did not have a great performance game 1.
Very encouraging. He's coming along. I think what you always have to remember about Trey is he's a guy that came from a program that asked him to shoot it very nearly every time he came down the floor. One of the highest usage rate guys in the country at North Dakota. So it's taking him a little bit, and it's going to take him a little bit, number one, to figure out what his role is in this offense. He's playing with more scores now than he ever has, so he doesn't have to carry the load. How does he fit within that framework? He's working on that. And number 2, I'm going to continue to harp on this. That's the second game in a row for a guy that wasn't asked to have to play a lot of lockdown defense previously. He was asked to get in there and score. He has done a nice job defensively. He has totally transformed his game, and this is one of the hardest workers on this team. He's relentless in the gym. He's relentless in trying to understand what these defensive concepts are. And you get a guy that, and I bang on plus-minus occasionally. It doesn't always tell the full story, but that's a guy in Trayson last night that had your second-best plus-minus behind Jasper Floyd. And I think both of those, Tony, those are what I say a lot. Those stats backed up what you saw on the floor. When Jasper's in the game, you can tell that's a veteran dude that's played 100-plus games of college basketball. The thing just feels under control. I felt like that with Trayson last night, doing some other things. Got you 6 rebounds last night in addition to playing defense, 2 offensive rebounds.
Yeah.
So Trey's doing a bunch of stuff right now and adapting to what he's being asked to do on the defensive end. I think it's a game that will see his offense grow as he continues to get more comfortable and plays more. There'll be less thinking on the defensive end, and you're going to continue to unlock him offensively. So I'm with you. I thought that was a nice second game for Trayson Eaglestaff. Let's do a couple more of these while we're on individual players for a second. I want to jump down to Mo Ugasuk. That's a guy that was brought in namely as a shooter. He was 40% from three last year at South Carolina. The one guy that comes in with Power 5 experience, had done it in multiple games, making more than 3 threes at South Carolina. So brought in as a shooter. Did I say Mo was brought in as a shooter? He's a really good three-point shooter.
Correct.
Had 0 3-point attempts last night, and yet affected that game. It's a guy that had 5 rebounds, including 2 offensive, and does a great job playing defense. And sometimes you don't know what you have until you get on the floor, and that's what Mo has been for this team. Brought him in for a specific purpose, and yet he has turned out to be a guy, really high basketball IQ, has quickly understood what this staff is trying to get this team to do defensively, and has made himself playable and valuable in areas other than shooting. You haven't even unlocked his three-point game yet, and he's making contributions to this team. He should get some credit for a game last night that won't stand out to the general public, but that was a really good game from Mo Ugasuk.
Yeah, and to be quite honest with you, as you say that, there wasn't anyone that had a stinker last night.
There was not.
I mean, how encouraged are you by DJ Thomas?
Very.
Here's a guy that signed with Ross. He was 6'7". Now he's up to 6'9". Big, strong body. He gets you 10 points. 4 of 8 from the field overall. But the second half for him last night, he goes 3 of 3 from the field, made big plays. And so he's just a baby, and he's growing up.
Do Big Harlan next.
Yeah, I was going to do Harlan. Harlan statistically did not get a shot in the opener against Mount St. Mary's. 5 of 7 last night, 12 points, and he hits 2 out of 4 at the foul line and also corralled 6 rebounds. And again, he's kind of like the only big that West Virginia technically has out there right now. So that was encouraging. And you saw Jasper Floyd, who had the big game, 25 in the opener. He was settled in last night, very comfortable to distribute, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, scored a couple of points, but he played his role. And there was, I thought last night, a good example that he truly will do whatever it needs to be done on that particular night.
Who are you talking about, Jasper?
Yeah.
Yes, agree. And I do think that's encouraging. I mean, if you're going to stick to the shooters like Mount St. Mary's did and open up that lane, then Jasper has the ability to get you points and scores, you saw in game 1. If that's going to close off a little bit or they're going to mix up what they're doing defensively, you're going to leave shooters out there, allowed Honor Huff to get going in the second half. Here's another number I'll give you. I'll reference this a lot this season because I think it's a really interesting part of the Ross Hodge offense. And the way they do things, you've seen it now over 2 games. They are very deliberate offensively. We'll push it when it's there. Had, 19 fast break points in the first game, which puts you in the 87th percentile nationally after 1 game. But when it's not there, totally content coming up, working offense, exploiting mismatches. If you got somebody down in the post that switch, you see the pass down in and you try and back somebody down in. We saw Jasper Floyd do that a few times. But it doesn't mean the offense is not good. It's just slower, and it's deliberate, and it's limiting possessions for the other team when they get the ball back. And here's the stat that I'm going to reference a lot this season. It's points per possession. So the total points West Virginia scores, you're not going to see a lot of those gaudy 86, 94-point games that some teams are putting up here early. But what you should look at is these points per possession. And last night, West Virginia had another good one. It was over 1 point per possession against Mount St. Mary's.
Mount St. Mary's.
What'd I say?
Morris.
Mount St. Mary's.
Morris Ugasa.
Mount St. Mary's.
Mo St. Mary's.
How'd you do that? Ruined my flow. Mo St. Mary's. Might start calling them that now. That's pretty good.
Mo St. Mary's.
So that was a game when you walked away going, what? What did everybody say coming out of the first game? What did you hear more than anything else? Got to make some shots. You got to make some shots. You were more than 1 point per possession. I'll put that in context in just a second. Last night, 1.1 points per possession, including 1.2 in the second half. So here's your context. Last year's nation's leader in points per possession, just a hair under 1.1.
Wow.
So those are two really good offensively efficient games for a team that maybe if you're watching that, at times you felt like, well, is this offense okay? Yeah, it was okay. It was doing exactly what it was supposed to. And you saw what happens to teams. When you're down going into the final 10 minutes of the second half, that becomes really difficult because West Virginia just squeezes you. It puts so much more importance and pressure on the other team per possession because you're just not going to get many of them, right? It's almost Service Academy football-esque that you better be ultra efficient against West Virginia because you're just not going to get the ball as often. So I think that has showed itself in the first two games where if you're just watching, you may not think the offense was super good. It really has been. It's been very good for the first two games.
One more note on individual players. Amir Jenkins, if you look at his line last night, he played 9 minutes. He didn't score. You go, oh, okay, didn't he? He had one sequence defensively against their DJ Smith that you could just see his athleticism, his tenacity. It was kind of a microcosm of how he's going to play. He's a dog. You can get that.
He got a little stuff to him.
He got some stuff to him, and so when he got DJ Smith in there and pinned him up against the sideline, and just like perfect coaching execution of how they train themselves to do that and put your hands in that right spot and be just a nuisance. He's got a little something to him. He'll have some games.
He will have some games, and he's had a couple passes in each game that make you go, wow. I mean, I think I jumped all over you on your play-by-play call because I think I said wow as soon as he dished one of those off last night. And we left probably a good 40 minutes after the game ended last night. You know who was getting a workout in after the game?
Truck Bryant.
It was not Truck.
It wasn't Truck.
It was Amir Jenkins.
Yeah.
Getting a little post-game workout in. He's going to be a good one.
Jaden Forsyth was out there, too.
Jaden's done it both things, getting shots up, getting some extra shots up, staying ready.
Sure.
Staying ready. Jaden's a guy we haven't seen yet, but Ross expected to get him in here in these first few games as we're waiting for Chance Moore to come back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So, again, Sunday, Lehigh here. West Virginia will once again get a good run in. Then they'll be off until Thursday when Pitt comes into the Hope Coliseum. So that's what we got shaking. Yeah, so I'm kind of...
Oh, I'm sorry. One last thing on Campbell before we leave Campbell. Nice to see Joe Yesufu.
Really
back.
Nice.
Former Mountaineer, back as a full-time assistant on Kansas. That's a great start to his career 1 year after being done with his eligibility. I talked to him before the game. We had him on Sportsline on Thursday night. It was a fun interview. If you get a chance, go back and listen to the podcast version if you want to hear from Joe. But I went and talked to him before the game, Tony, and I said, hey, does it feel weird being back in here? And he kind of looked around. He goes, no, not really. I feel like I was just here 2 months ago. No, that's true.
So you might wonder, how did he elevate so fast, so quickly? John Anderschek, the new coach at Campbell, a couple of seasons ago was at Washington State. Yesufu was a player at Washington State, suffered a bad hip injury, and didn't play that season, but that's how the two got to know each other. And so when Anderschek gets that job at Campbell, and I told Joe, I said, Joe, do you realize, I mean, you skipped about normally 4 years. You know, those grad assistants go like grad assistant, video coordinator, assistant to the video coordinator's friend, right? And it takes like normally 3 to 4 just to get a seat.
Yeah.
And here he is. He's got a chair.
At a D1 spot. And I think it speaks well, and again, we know this because we got to be around Joe for a year. What a wonderful personality. Smiley. He's just around it a lot, and he was a guy that obviously made a heck of an impression for a year in which you mentioned he didn't even play.
I know.
That's the kind of impression he made.
Three Guys Before the Game is brought to us by Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. If you or someone that you know needs help when it comes to filing for Social Security claims or military benefits that you feel you are due, contact Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. That's what they do. They help people every single day in all 50 states. Yes, started here in West Virginia, still in Parkersburg, but they serve clients in all 50 states throughout the country. So if you or someone that you know is either dealing with it or needs help getting ready to file Social Security claims or military benefits claims, contact the folks at Jan Dill's Attorneys at Law. They won't take no for an answer. A couple of notes. As I first reported on this program, we're getting ready to do some live events. I was attacked unfairly when I was the first to report this. Brad gets upset because I'm ahead of the gang on this stuff. Don't get the respect that I'm due because I'm a futurist, knowing what's happening going forward. But I do want to say this. A couple of reminders. The football game starting tonight, the food court is going to be operational, but there's going to be different people that are running it. It's the Live Like Brent team, which is a great group raising cancer dollars. They're going to have our spot next to Daniel's Men's Store, and they will be there Friday afternoon, and they will be there Saturday before the game. Rev Kev's barbecue will be there, and guess what? He's got Rev Kev chili tonight. He makes that with his brisket.
Oh.
Rev Kev chili with brisket in there tonight. Weather permitting, live music from 5 until 7 o'clock Eastern. There will not be Connection 304, but there will be libations. Also, Saturday, Rev Kev will be there, and because it's a morning game, probably going to get a good rush early on, and we all ask you to encourage and support Live Like Brent. Also, as first reported on this program, getting ready for a Charleston event. Going to have an announcement coming up Sunday, an official announcement coming up Sunday, and exact details of that Saturday down in Charleston, South Carolina, between the two basketball games. We're going to have an event. I mean,
hopefully it's the same details you've already released.
They're going to be sending fishing boats out into the waters just to bring in enough stuff for us because we're going to eat some fish. We're going to have a big time. Alumni chapter.
That's when?
The Saturday between the two games down in Charleston, South Carolina, the weekend before Thanksgiving. We'll also post it on our Three Guys social media sites as well. And that Charleston, West Virginia event, we're going to do something there too. We're big in Charleston.
Let's get through the Charleston, South Carolina event, then you can talk about Charleston,
We're going to have
West
an
Virginia.
event the night before the Wake Forest game down in Charleston, West Virginia. By the way, you know they got new seats?
Saw that. Those will be nice.
Geez, I don't know the hurry why they needed to get new seats. Those ones they had in there they were super, weren't they?
I'm glad they got that done. That'll be awesome.
Do you think those seats got some? Those were the original seats.
They got some use. Cost per use was down a lot. So they're ready. Those new ones will be nice. Comfortable, nice and clean.
They're black.
Yeah, like a gray. I think they're maybe an anthracite there.
Yeah, anthracite-ish. Yeah, very nice. Time for Textual Healing. It's brought to us by our website, episode800.com, episode800.com. Got a text this week. Someone said, hey, the popcorn's not on there yet. We're efforting. We'll get it on there. The Mountaineer Munch is coming up for the Christmas season, and it'll be up there soon, plus all of our other stuff. Plus getting ready for that spring release of the olive oil. That's going to be nice.
What? We don't have olive oil.
Yeah, it's coming.
You did an olive oil deal?
Yeah.
Oh, for God's sakes.
Like really good olive oil. Organic olive oil from Italy, from Calabria. Going to be nice. Know the farmer, know the people that raise them. Those trees are old. You know how old olive trees are?
How old?
They're some of the oldest trees in the world. All right, here we go.
So we're going to have our own olive oil?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Be available here. Don't get me started on olive oil because it's the whole. I'll open up that can just like the San Marzano tomatoes. I've told you the San Marzano tomato story, right? They're not truly grown in that specific volcanic region. Olive oil, if you ever look at olive oil, they bring it in like all these different countries. They just mix it all together. Like you don't need mixed oil. You need a good oil from one place. And the oil that we're going to sell, they're going to know where it came from. You can look at the location where it's produced. One source. Texter, how about this? Our start to the day. These are Mountaineer folks coming in for a basketball game. This is Dr. Robert and Luann Watterson. They hit the Tudor's Biscuit World out there on University Avenue. Best Morgantown breakfast, well known. There they are having their pregame meal, right? And then after, he was so fired up. When he walked out of there, he was like a man possessed. He raised his arms to the Tudor's Biscuit World gods. He knew He probably learned when he was in there that they are now available for catering, for holiday events, for tailgating events. Contact Tudor's Biscuit World, and they will make it a special day. Call ahead and pick it up. Tudor's Biscuit. Start your day the homemade way.
They are the best. Robert and Luann, they're the absolute best. Talked to him before the game a little bit. He said thanks for all the Tudor's mentions. That's what got him there. They live out of town. They were in town for the game. Big basketball guy. Big basketball. Knows his stuff, too. Yeah, big basketball guy. But they were thrilled. A+ rating they gave Tudor's.
For sure. Well, I don't know why you wouldn't. So check it out. Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way. That catering's getting big. Texter says, I did not realize that I was co-playing 1980s Don Nealon until my office mates pointed it out. A perfect Halloween outfit for an upset weekend, by golly. So there he dressed up. He went Don Nealon. He went old school Don Nealon there for a Halloween costume. I mean, Don would wear the sweatshirt occasionally, had the collar out, right?
It's credential.
He's got a credential there. Very nicely done. Texter says, Jacob here, longtime listener, first-time texter. A quick, obvious observation. A Mountaineer win always puts a smile on your face, all the way from Grand Cayman. Cheers. 8-month-old Miles was even a happy camper and supporting his WVU gear on 7 Mile Beach.
That's awesome.
Oh, cutie.
I
love when little kids wear their diaper and just a T-shirt. I mean, they get in that water and then that thing expands and it looks, it's a look. Look like a little cutie.
There's worse places you could be than Grand Cayman.
Yeah. Texter, hello, Logan from Mannington. Brad brought up a good point that we don't understand pass interference anymore, and now I still don't understand what's unnecessary roughness with the Scotty Fox situation.
Yeah, DDT called it. That's a wrestling reference there.
Yeah.
Where they picked Fox up, slammed him to the ground, but no call.
He adds, I might want to let the listeners know additionally that if you go to GoMart app and you get your triple points, make sure you check out the rewards and redeem them. I got 30 cents off a gallon. Definitely helps as gas prices are high. Clarksburg, Shinston, Fairmont area.
Nice job.
Big gas taking over in that area there.
Big gas.
Ted from Colorado.
You just take big gas, look him right in the face, say, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to triple reward you, and I'm going to take 30 cents off with my reward points.
Kind of giggle when that thing redeems itself at 30 cents off, right? And you look at what you're paying, you go, works pretty good. Get the GoMart app. Ted from Colorado. All things being equal, the big takeaway from the first basketball game was a lack of rebounding. I think the shooting issues will work themselves out. Rebounding a concern. Yeah, TBA until you get those other two young men there.
Yeah, TBA, because remember, that first game skewed those results. You missed that many free throws. There's going to be some easy rebounding opportunities. I mentioned going into last night's game, West Virginia was still top 80 in defensive rebounding percentage after that first game. So that number was skewed a little bit. So something to keep an eye on, but don't panic just yet on that.
Next up, have you seen this magazine cover anywhere? It's called Hodge Baker Ball. You seen that?
I did.
Look at Ross Boss. Ren's looking sweet. You think his hair ever looked like that?
No. Yeah. Too light.
Me neither. Texter. This guy found this little item when he was, cleaning up, getting ready for the fall season or whatever. I wanted to share this. This is my ticket from the Sugar Bowl when West Virginia played in Atlanta. Me and my grandpa went to the game, sat in a sea of red bulldogs. I was 11 years old, cheering like crazy. What a game. Something I'll keep for the rest of my life. Look forward to watching us win big games with Rich and go Mountaineers. And so that team's being honored this weekend. The 05 Mountaineers will be honored, and Stevie Slayton will be recognized as his move to the College Football Hall of Fame is coming up. And the gentleman that wrote that in there says, does Nokia still even exist anymore? Remember, it was the Nokia Sugar Bowl.
It was.
And I looked it up. Yes, it does exist. It has evolved, is now two different entities. The original Finnish company, Nokia Corporation, which focuses on telecom, and HMD Global, a separate company that licenses the Nokia brand to make and sell phones. So they're over there in Finland. So Mo Yugasuk and Eddie Vestarinen probably carry around Nokias when they're home.
Turning into this year always a Finland connection.
3 current athletes.
Heavy Finland.
3 current athletes at West Virginia are currently.
Well, and plus you're breaking down Nokia based in Finland.
Yeah.
Didn't see that coming on today's show.
I'll have to ask those guys if they're familiar with that. Texter asked this question: what is Coach Hodges' demeanor like on the court? I can't tell from the TV broadcast. Is he a fiery guy or pretty laid back on the court?
Fiery.
So my thought early on, very microwave-ish.
Heats up fast.
Heats up really, really fast. Like as soon as you touch that wick, it goes. Will not chirp at referees. Will not chirp at the referees. I'd say 95% of the time.
Yeah, he'll save it. He'll give you a couple.
Yeah, he's going to let them do their gig, and until I think what he tries to do is play catch 'em. You know what that is? Yeah, it's a good coach's ploy. You catch them when they make a mistake, and they know they made a mistake. So he engages, I think, when they know they screwed one up, and now then you have them at their mercy, right? They're just like, so that's when he does. But first game, he got hot and did a double palm slap on the scorer's table.
Uh-huh.
May have woken a few people up.
Right in front of us.
Yeah, may have woken a few people up. And then last night, I had a question or two, but again, it's not an ongoing chirp fest. I think he just lets them do their thing, but when he plays catch 'em, he'll catch you, and then he'll try to get a call off of that.
If you were listening to the radio broadcast last night, a couple times you could hear some of his instructions.
Yeah.
When he got cranked up there.
Yeah. No Fs. No cursing.
No, but I did find it interesting. There was one time we turned to the assistants, again, the guys that do the scout, and he was talking defensively to the guys, and he just said, we need to do something different in the post. They kept heading it into Butka in there and had to switch it up in the post, which West Virginia did.
Mike from St. Albans, longtime listener, first text, went to the hoop game tonight. Very excited what I think this team can turn into. With this being the 4th actual game that they have played, you can see the talent is there, but they haven't quite gelled. Good defense. Offense struggled a bit. Rebounding will get better. Love the entire starting lineup, especially Honor, Floyd, and Lorient. Excited about the 2 freshmen. I think that Jenkins is going to be, if he stays, a defensive monster. Like Javon Carter. Yeah, that's rarefied air. I keep trying to figure out who Thomas reminds me of, Mountaineer teams. I think it's Daryl Prue. So he went old school 80s. Went old school 1980s there. Athletic, long, seems to be consistent around the rim. I hope they're there for their entire careers. Yeah, I think that's be great. Also, my son's going to sing at the food court Friday evening. Thanks to Homeless Dave for the opportunity. So Homeless Dave's just booking people left and right now.
He's basically a concert promoter at this point. Just books people.
Dr. Jeff in Charleston closes Textual Healing today with this. Logic leads to fear. If it's this difficult to defeat 2 mid-major schools, it will be extremely difficult to beat Big 12 teams. Thus, we fear that we will lose majority of our Big 12 games. Signed by Dr. Jeff in Charleston.
A lot of hoops left. First game wasn't difficult, won by 16.
I think Dr. Jeff, what's he telling us? Just don't apply logic is what he's saying.
Oh, is that what he's saying?
I think it's right. Like if you just look at it logically, you could make assumptions there.
Ah, I see what you're saying. Yeah.
Probably what it is.
I got you.
So, yeah, we'll see. Again, playing a lot really quick. We're gonna know
games.
We're gonna get another 40 minutes of ball in here on Sunday, and we'll have a little bit of a better feel coming up next week. Okay, so scheduling wise,
Monday is our next one.
We will record on Monday and drop it Monday. We'll recap football on Monday and recap the basketball game as well. What?
But before you go further, I got one more textual healing that I've forgot.
I'll stop the music. What do you got?
Relates to Joe Yesufu from last night.
Yeah.
His roommate, while he was here, the oft-mentioned second best player in Valley High School basketball history, Jake Auer.
Oh, yeah.
You know what Jake's up to now? In Chicago. But I talked to John, his dad, here recently via text. Got a picture there, Jake, if you'd throw this up.
Really?
Joe Yesufu said he knew about this. There's our guy. Rocking the mustache now that's in vogue with all the current country music stars.
Yeah.
My man has finished up now, just since he left here. He's done the Chicago Triathlon, and this is a picture with his parents as he just completed the Des Moines Marathon.
So he's in his running thing.
Lined up and ran a marathon.
Wow.
Pretty impressive for our guy, Jake Auer.
Yeah.
So great to hear from John. Still big Mountaineer fans. We will see John in Ames.
Oh, he's going to come.
He's right there in Des Moines, so he's just going to take the half-hour drive up, and we'll see him at Hilton Coliseum there.
Jake doing anything for employment, or is he just running?
No, he works out apparently all the time.
Was he getting into financial service?
Yeah.
So he'll be fine.
So he's doing great.
All right, let's
so anyway, I said to Joe, you still talk to any of the guys? He goes, I thought this was interesting too, because it speaks to how difficult it is to build a culture with all new guys, but then how well both of these last two versions of the Mountaineers have come together from a team perspective. I said, you talk to any of the guys? You see anybody? We saw Toby over the summer a lot. He goes, oh yeah, talked to almost everybody, every one of them. Every couple days we're texting around with each other. And I asked him about Jake. I said, you see what your boy Jake's? He goes, oh yeah, I know. I got the picture. So they're all still really connected, even though many of them spent just 1 year here in Morgantown.
Yeah, awesome. All right, we're out. Again, special thanks to Jake, our producer. Brought to us by GoMart. Get a GoMart rewards card. Go to GoMart.com for details. Go in there and spin. Go first, spin, win stuff, prizes, holiday. Get the app. Save millions of dollars. Lou Wendell Marine Sales in St. Albans. They sell family fun. Visit LouWendellMarineSales.com. Great time for season-ending sales. But Tudor's Biscuit World. Start your day the homemade way with a Tudor's Biscuit. Comax Business Systems, keeping you hydrated. I mean, you got to get that water machine. You got to get the water machine.
Important to stay hydrated this time.
You got to stay hydrated. They got that I-12 high-tech water machine, hot water, cold water. Stop the plastic. Bad, big plastic, just trying to control us all. Three Guys also brought to us by Jan Dills, attorneys at law. They won't take no for an answer. And Spreads on Stats, Conley CPA Group, providing value beyond numbers.
We forgot to show the gift we received.
We're the worst.
A lot going on this show.
Seriously, we got this. We're the worst. Okay, we'll take a picture. We'll talk about it in the next episode.
Yeah, deal.
That's good. See you.